SD Sazabi. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net. Quite excited today to be bringing you a look at this, the new take on a classic mobile suit from Char's Counterattack. It's Char's last one, as far as we know, in animated form. It's the Sazabi BB Senshi Super Deformed. May 2013 release. It's 1,000 yen, as you can see there from Bandai, with some great cover art focusing on the beam shot rifle there. And in the long-running BB Senshi line, this is number 382 MSN04 from Char of the Counterattack. And don't forget, of course, that you can get this kit and so much more SD and beyond from HobbyLink Japan, and there's full links down below. Now, Char was very fond of changing his mobile suits there, as you can see, from his Zaku 2 and the Zagok, which I'm rather fond of. The Gelgoog, and you can also see some cool takes, his Rick Dome, and his version of getting his hands on the Gundam. This is from G Generation F there, this nice collection of SD kits. And this one itself is going to be a perfect complement to the new Gundam, which has had a couple different releases over the years, this one being part of a 2-pack with the Zeta Gundam. The Sazabi has some old school SD kits, as well as the movie collection. You can see a lot of the MSs that are going to make that up here from Char's Counterattack, but in terms of actual number of models, not all that many over the years here. For 1,000 yen in February of 1988, you could get the 1/144th, but it was only the new that got a 1/100th. Char would have to wait a long time. For his master grade there, which is a beast at over 8,000 yen, July 2000. And of course, there's high hopes that we're going to be getting a new version of this coming out in version KA this December to follow up on last year's new, and he's also had an HGUC since. But it's back to business here with this high-grade quality SD kit there. You can see some anime scenes of Char Aznable calling out to Neo Zeon there from the movie. And the actual MS is looking pretty good there. In terms of the colorings, it looks like it's got 2 shades of red here. Painted up by a pro, we'll have to see how that works out. And the markings on the shield and the camera lenses and yellow details with the music note all looking good down there. And here they're going to be talking about the Red Comet himself. To go along with some of the details, you can actually see the cockpit there behind the mono eye in the head. It is going to be coming with some marking seals, it looks like, and you can see thrusters there on the back of the legs. He's going to have gimmicks, so you know they're sort of scraping when they talk about the funnel containers moving flexibly, that's going to be a gimmick there. And you can also take the beam tomahawk and plug that into the shield. Here you can see the back of the MS there with its thrusters underneath with a little bit of white paint added to it there. Some scenes of him facing off with the new Gundam, and you can see the beam tomahawk there is going to be coming with effect parts, probably not clear, but still some pretty cool poses it looks like he can go into. But here's a gimmick that's actually box-worthy there, as you can see that you've got the funnels inside their container there, and you can actually go have them launch off there. They're in their full outright position there, if you want to go think of Rosette's bits or something like that. And they're going to have just a yellow effect part there with some blast lines behind it. Hopefully there's going to be 2 of them inside, but only 1 depicted here. And here they're talking about Gundam Front Tokyo, where you can go see the movie at Dome G, where you get to see the new Gundam. This, of course, both inspired and inspiring the version KA new Gundam that we got in Master Grade form. As you got to see them face off, all the more sign that we'd be getting a version KA of this Dome G Sazabi. And you can also get a special mark down there if you want to go Dome G instead of the more familiar music mark. And over here, they're going to be showing off just how cool this guy is going to be out of the box. When you take a look at it, hard to make out whether there's 2 tones of red, but the effect parts are going to be solid, not clear there. Green seals up on the helmet, and he's got black, though there's not going to be any yellow trim on the beam rifle. And there are, look at that actually, for the particle cannon in the chest, and the actual Zaku 2-esque piping around the waist, and black forearms there to go with the shield and the marks. Looking really good here for 1,000 yen right out of the box. Which it's time to go inside and check out here. You've got red, yellow, and not too big in terms of the seals there for SD. That's always a pleasant surprise. More red to go along with the black and some poly caps. And on the inside, you're going to have a manual with a very sharp and detailed looking SD kit. It's a full-size A plate here, and if you compare the color to the B plate, it looks like it's going to be a shade different there. But of more interest, I think, is just going to be the actual quality of the pieces themselves. Big rear skirts there to go along with the side skirts. The shoulders are looking good. You're not going to get any yellow in there if you want to go paint it up. You've got the tomahawk there and the shield with some good details on the inside. You've also got the big leg thrusters there, or sorry, the leg armor, and that's actually going to have lots of different lining options there on the inside if you want. the sides to go around the chest, and you can see the 3 separate funnels if you want to detach those to go along the ones that are going to be attached like a traffic light when you put them inside the container. A much smaller B-plate, though, is going to be giving you the front skirt, so you can go and decal that up there. You've also got the parts that are going to hang off the shoulder, so hopefully a little bit of color differentiation there to go along with some leg and shoulder pieces. But more interest, of course, is going to be the head there. You can see the front and the side of the helmet. It's not going to have as many details carved into it as the legs do, but nonetheless, it's oversized, cartoony, and hopefully is going to work very nicely in terms of proportions. Another big plate here for C, which is going to be the Xeon Gray that we're all so familiar with. You can see where you're going to be able to attach some parts on there for the backpack, some thrusters molded in there. It's really cool that this part actually here for the inside the back skirt is actually going to be done up in color. So if you're looking through the legs from the front, you're actually going to see some dark colors back there. The containers and everything that you're going to need for the thrusters and holding the funnels are looking good. And if you take a look at the details that they were showing off on the side of the box there, look at this inner frame there. That's always impressive to think of for BB Senshi. Here it looks like we're going to have the mono eye moving, and you've got the thrusters for inside the legs there. 4 different ones there each to go along with this part for the front of the shield. And there it is, the mono eye connector there. It's not going to have the famous red ball, though, that Char was oh so unceremoniously dumped into the side of the asteroid in. But if you want to go play basketball, I suppose you could go paint that up. And the shot rifle here is going to have some nice little lining ticks in the front. Lots of good details so far. This D-plate, though, is going to be bringing home the fun because you've got this large, massive effect part there for the beam tomahawk. Remember, there's only one actually included. And you are going to have this launch, only one, a little bit disappointing there. But you can see it blast out of the containers and send the funnels off to go whoosh and fight Amuro there. You've got this yellow piping, which is always going to be great in any kind of Xeon suit. And again, this small little particle cannon that you can attach in there. The kind of piece that on an SD never would have been there back in the day. And it's just great when they throw in more play options. And it doesn't look like it's going to be overly relying on seals there. You've got some parts for the tomahawk. You've also got the mono eye done up in green there to go along with the camera lens. You've got a few little yellow tick marks that you can add onto the body and some red seals. But otherwise, it's going to be these famous markings there that you want to go and put onto the shield and the front skirt. And if you want to go put some yellow lines, it seems to be a trend, whether it's the full armor unicorn or just put them around the thrusters on the back of the Sazabi here. The manual is going to be looking very good for the amount of details on there. Lots of effort went in to line this guy up properly. You can see some information about him, a head height of 26 meters almost there. Just massive to go along with 30 tons. And all the weapons that are going to be included, most of them represented here on the BB Senshi. Definitely not a kiddified look here on the inside as you see the plates laid out down there. 40 yen to replace the seals, and otherwise it's going to be 40 yen a pop in terms of the pieces. You can see the head construction there, lots of parts to go in there. You can see it's going to have those little pop-out shoulders, and you're going to have some double ball joints there for the neck, and that old punch piece down there to attach it in. The containers are going to be looking good because of the red that goes in there, and the shoulders are going to have those flaps which are looking oversized, and I think that's really going to help it there. And it looks like it's actually got some black parts for the arms that you don't have to go and paint up yourself. You can see the thrusters are going to be surrounded by those large legs there, and those seals that you saw are just going to be going and providing a little bit of color for the tips of the toes there. That black piece on the inside of the rear skirt I think is going to be fantastic. Put it all together and line up the beam tomahawk there. Get the beam shot rifle, just 2 simple pieces, swap them out. You can get them up on an action base and plug the shield into the back of the forearm with the tomahawk in there to be deployed when needed. And on the back, hit some color details there as you can take that forearm piece off and turn it as you want to, slide the shield around in different directions, and you can twist it all the way forward. Always awkward, something we've seen go all the way back to the days of the V Gundam, if not earlier than that. The containers, here's how you pop them off and just put this in. I suppose you could plug it into any one of the 3 down there, and you get your choices there for the marking. Again, yes, December, can't wait for that. And you get to see some rear action. But overall, if you wanted to paint up the thrusters, they'd be fantastic. But I think of more interest down here is the 2 different shades of red that they're telling you to use. You've got GM40 Seed Red there for the main body, and GM59 Seed Destiny Red. Oh, Kira and Shin, will you ever get along? Well, I suppose you do on the body of the Sazabi. Nice color splash page on the inside there, showing off all the weapons, including the Mega Particle Cannon, and you've got some Char's Counterattack photography there. It looks like it's the SD kit with some more scenes of the famous frenemies, well, between first Zeta and back onto this movie. But I think even more interesting for me is the comic world. They're going all the way back, talking to BB Senshi number 7. What is this, 382 already? So you can go and follow all their crazy adventures in comic world. They do their jokes a lot better than me. So we get to see the Sazabi face off with Amuro, accusing him of having a big ego. And then you get the Oak yelling, cut. So after they go through that, and he's got the Hambrabi assisting him with his hat on the top of his head, he's saying, look at this. You've got the Sazabi just looking absolutely massive and cool. And yes, if you've ever seen the old SD New Gundam, he's had a couple forms. His old one is about, 3 centimeters tall, and it looks about that cool. And then they're going to say, well, we need to do something about that. And he decides we're in a new world. And so what's going to happen? Well, the new Gundam overhears the director, runs off to the bathroom, changes his clothes, and he builds himself a high new costume. And then they say that this isn't going to work because it's not going to match any of the scenes we've ever seen before, which I think is a nice big picture joke there. Yes, the high new is going to be coming out in SD, and it's not going to make sense with anything that we saw on screen. Nonetheless, it's definitely going to do a good job of fitting in with the new cool kid on the block. Tons of fun unboxing this kit, and I can't help but think here how well Unicorn has done bringing some focus back onto Char's Counterattack just in terms of the timeline. Whether it's high-grade kits, which we've already seen them all from Char's Counterattack, but more SD kits like this, and especially the master grades, any focus on these time periods, which is so similar, is going to be positive, and it's a nice thing, because you've got a very cool Shidanju sitting on your shelf. You're not going to want to have that old Sazabi there beside it, and it's something that if Bandai doesn't do it, well, the third-party companies definitely are. Great that we're getting the 2 shades of red down there, and the nice yellow for the effect parts. The seals, everything is as it should be, so can't wait to get this kit all together. So stick around for one more part, everybody. And as always, let me know what you think of Char, the Sazabi, Char's Counterattack, and which other SD kits you'd like to see coolified, the 2.0 version KA equivalent. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya. Which one of us had a more ignoble end, I wonder? Basketball? Losing it? Well, I guess we'll have to wait till this summer to find out exactly what really happened to me.